entire day at school. Others wear their gym clothes under their regular clothes lest they be forced to change in the presence of a boy. What happened to the basic human rights of these girls? When it comes to sports, many of the males these girls compete with have not had any hormonal treatments, and so they are functioning fully as biological males. This completely undermines the very concept of boys and girls sports. There is a reason for the separation, and it is called fairness. The president's executive order destroys that fairness with one stroke of the pen. Earlier this month, NBC News reported that a new study suggests transgender women maintain an athletic advantage over their cisgender peers even after a year on hormone therapy. Last December, the UK Guardian reported that a groundbreaking new study on transgender athletes has found trans women retain a 12% advantage in running tests even after taking hormones for 2 years to suppress their testosterone. The results, researchers suggest, indicated the current International Olympic Committee guidelines may give trans women an unfair competitive advantage over biological women. Well, what do you know? The studies confirmed what common sense would tell you. As for those who say, well, how common is this anyway? Why make such a big deal about it? The answer to this very question you asked. If so few people identify as transgender, why sign an executive order affecting everyone else just for them? But there's more to Biden's executive order titled Executive Order on Preventing and Combating Discrimination on the Basis of Gender Identity or Sexual Orientation. It also states adults should be able to earn a living and pursue a vocation, knowing that they will not be fired, demoted, or mistreated because of whom they go home to or because how they dress does not conform to sex-based stereotypes. Does this mean that if Jack, who is clearly a biological male, now identifies as Jane and wants to be hired as a nursery school teacher, the school must hire him? Does it matter that the 4-year-old kids will be asking why the man is wearing a dress? And if there is a reason that the order does not contain the words religion or religious a single time, what about those with biblically based convictional differences? Would churches be exempt? What about religious schools? That's why I warned in March of last year, if Joe Biden becomes president, he would declare war on your religious freedoms. That's why I drew attention last August to the transgender activism of the Democratic platform as prefigured in the Biden-Sanders unity plan. That's why I asked last November, Mr. Biden, do you really advocate sterilizing children? When candidate Biden indicated his support for an 8-year-old to identify as the opposite of their biological sex. Should I also mention that Biden's nominee for his Assistant Secretary of Health is a biological male who identifies as female? Under President Obama, more than 20 states took his administration to court, fighting against the similarly radical transgender activism in the schools. Obama threatened to withhold federal funding if the schools would not comply. Under President Trump, this was overturned, only to have it reinstated by President Biden, also undergirded by the Supreme Court's dreadful redefinition of sex last June. And as nice as the wording sounds, you should make no mistake about it, this will negatively impact your children, especially your girls. To be sure, every one of us should show love to those struggling with gender identity confusion, be they children or adults. And if a school can accommodate a trans-identified child by allowing them to use a private restroom, that hurts no one. But as I have argued for more than a decade, we don't turn the world upside down to accommodate the struggles of less than 1% of the population. And by all means, if we don't strip away the rights of others on their behalf. This is one reason I voted for Donald Trump, since a vote for him was a vote against this dangerous agenda. All this is no surprise. Let us be prepared then to love every trans person we meet. This heart-rending documentary will help you to do so, while pushing back against this dangerous agenda every way we can. It's the least that we can do. And in the article, there was just a link to a documentary